Salaway fellow YouTubers, 93 Monster Mike here again with another toy review, this time on the Bandai Movie Monster Series Baragon 1965. The figure was released in 2003, and I got this as a belated Christmas gift, courtesy of my father. So, let's start off with the tag here, which has a really good picture of Baragon. And of course, it's the Baragon suit that was used in the film Frankenstein vs. Baragon, or Frankenstein Conquers the World. Oh, a little bit of trivia. Frankenstein is the guy that created the monster, not the monster itself. Although, in this context, in the film, the Frankenstein in the movie was made from irradiated heart and other pieces of Frankenstein's creation that was brought over from Nazi Germany to Hiroshima, Japan, and then, obviously, when Hiroshima was nuked by the American atomic bomb at the end of World War II, well, you guys do the math. And Baragon was the enemy monster attacking the countryside, eating people and cattle. But yeah. Baragon then, of course, would appear again in Destroy All Monsters, but only for a very brief amount of time. And of course, in between that, the Baragon suit was being used by Super Raya Productions for all kinds of Ultra Kaiju, starting in Ultra Q with the Kaiju Pagos, and then being used for Naranga, and then Gabora, and then supposedly also Magular. And by the time the Baragon suit was to be used in Destroy All Monsters, the suit was in such poor condition, they couldn't really use it for very many scenes in Destroy All Monsters. So yeah. So yeah, here's the tag, here's the back, Frankenstein, Tai, Baragon, Kaiser. Yeah, Frankenstein versus Baragon, with the Monster Series, and of course the silhouette of Baragon right there. Inside the tag, all that legal mumbo jumbo, and here is a bio about Baragon being like a subterranean monster, eating cattle and people and all that stuff, so, yeah. And onto Baragon himself! Yeah, I never really had a Baragon figure in my collection until now, so hooray, I finally got a Baragon! And I really gotta say that the painting and sculpting of this figure is wow. It looks almost exactly like the original Bandai figure that Bandai did release back in like the late 80s or early 90s. You know, the one that had the kind of light blue underbelly and the orange here and there, and but as you can see, look at that. Kind of looks like a bulldog with horns and huge ears. Also like how all the teeth are painted. And hey, take a look closely at the neck here. You see these little divots here and there? Those look exactly like the holes that were used for the suit actor, Haruo Nakajima, to help him see and breathe when he was in the suit. 3 claws on the fingers and toes. And kind of rounded square texture for the underbelly and the under part of the tail. The wart-like bumps in the arms and legs. And the ridges. Ooh, wow. And Shinra Jira, you are not mistaken. There is indeed paint on the ridges here, going at least up to maybe this part of the tail. Yeah, definitely down to here. It's very subtle, but if you look at it in the right light, yeah, you can definitely see that there is indeed a subtle paint for the back. And of course the kind of bone yellowish white peach color for the claws, toe claws, and also for the horn. And those anime-esque eyes. So in terms of posability, his arms can rotate 360. Though I kind of recommend that you move this arm out of the way just a little bit, because it might scuff up the paint of his claw when if it rubs against his leg. Speaking of the legs are stiff, but can rotate 360 as well. And finally, the tail. There is a glue seal in the neck, and I fiddled with it, and voila. But I recommend you rotate it. When rotating it, you grab it at the base of the neck. That way, you don't mess up the ears and the nasal horn. So to help give you guys a better idea of how big this figure is, Baragon here does stand at about, is in the 6-inch scale, so just for a closer look, right there we go. Okay, so right at the top of the horn, or right at the tip of the ear, he's standing at 6 1/8 of an inch tall. But if you go with the top of the head, he's standing at about, yeah, about 5.5 inch. Yeah, 5 3/4 of an inch tall. If you were to go for the spikes here. So he'd easily fit well on scale with your other 6-inch Bandai figures, such as Bandai Godzilla 1968. I mean, look at that. That is perfect. I love it. And since this guy took his role and was misidentified in the film Destroy All Monsters when he attacked France, Gorosaurus. Yeah. Actually, I think this works out relatively well, because Baragon and Gorosaurus, at least in the film, were relatively the same height. Actually, no. No, they weren't. No. No, Baragon was mostly crawling on all fours and was slightly smaller than how he appeared in Frankenstein Conquers the World, so yeah. But honestly, I like the scaling here. It looks okay to me. And one more, just for the fun of it, since this figure is relatively released for the upcoming film Godzilla Kong the New Empire. Kong with Beast Gloves, so it's just to help give you guys a better idea of how big this figure actually is. Well, that's pretty much all it for this video. Oh, and he should be available on other online retailers like Amazon, eBay, maybe eBay, HobbyLink Japan. So if you want to get a Baragon in your figure in your collection, but you don't have enough money for the Revoltech Baragon, or even the GMK Bandai Baragon, or even the vintage Baragon, this one's a good choice. I definitely recommend it. So, thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. Feel free to leave a comment to let me know about your thoughts to the figure, or Baragon in general. Feel free to subscribe to my channel to see some more videos for me, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload the next video. And hope to see you guys sometime in the future again. So, this has been 93 Monster Mike.